Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night. This is Ballpark Bozo recording my very first MLB The Show 26 franchise series and my first series ever. Creative YouTube channel this week, but I've been playing franchise mode for years. I've watched many other series from different various YouTubers like Fiend Franchise, Scrawny Slugger, Bangle, Octagonal Gaming. There's a lot of inspiration I've taken from them, and I've been wanting to do this for a while, so gonna give it a go. But yeah, for the very first series, we're gonna be doing none other than the Detroit Tigers, which we'll be using Octagonal Gaming roster for this one. Very, very accurate and realistic roster, but the Detroit Tigers, I know they're 12th overall, but I wanted to do this mainly for a friend, but the roster is actually in a the team and roster is actually in a very interesting position. We're going to turn on GM, but everything else will keep on full, everything on manual. The Detroit Tigers are owned by the Ilitch family, and the father, what was his name? It was Mike Ilitch, the not the original owner, but he owned the ball club from '92 until he died in 2017. Was very aggressive with spending, even in the small market nature of his team. Then after he had passed, went off to Christopher Ilitch, who is a bit more conservative with the money. And for this rebuild, I'm going to try to be in the seat of the actual GM, and ownership is very involved with this team. So, in more recent years, he's been more aggressive with spending, as you can see with the signing of guys like Javier Baez. But the Tigers are almost there, and they've won the wild card series the past 2 years and have lost in the ALDS past 2 years. So, let's take a look at this roster first. Go through it. So, obviously, we have Tarek Skubal, who is very good. Back-to-back Cy Young winner, up for a three-peat this season. He would be someone that we would be looking to trade if the season's not looking like gonna even compete much for wild card series. All depending on how Sim works. We'll go from there. But Framber Valdez, 3 more years on his contract, a very inflated contract. Yeah, we'd be looking to get rid of him immediately. Also, along with Jack Flaherty being a free agent, overall solid righty. Reese Olson. Um, in real life, he started out with an injury, but we'll just let it rock. We'll just rock with him. Beginning of the season, normal. Not sure why he's not on the 40 man, but for my purposes, we'll leave him down, I think. And at some point, he'll be coming up and joining the Big Ball Club. Justin Verlander. Getting old, buddy. 43 and still doing it. Yeah, he retires at the end of the season. Casey Mize, one of the pitchers, be potential, 28 years old, a free agent we will be looking to extend. I think he could be the beginning cornerstone of the pitching staff of the future, along with Reese and Jackson Joby. Jackson's got a few more years till he's probably another year. 2 more renewable years, or 1 more renewable before he hits ARB. If he has a good season, we'll be looking to extend him long term. The rest of these guys, not really going to talk about as much as prospects in the farm system. Pitching wise, don't believe anyone else is in the top 100 relevant. Bullpen's pretty good. Will Vest, Tyler Holt, Kyle Federikin, a little bit old there. I think he's free agent. No, 2 more years on his contract. Still on ARB for Vest. Still on ARB for Holton. So 2 solid bullpen arms. Tyler Holton is a really good lefty. Brett Herder, Zach Frost, Troy Melton, Drew Anderson. I mean, the bullpen overall, see potential is pretty good to start. So I think that's one of the stronger parts of this team. And then we got the closer, Kenley Jansen. He's getting older. He's going to be a free agent at the end of this year. Definitely someone we'd be looking to sell at the deadline. I'm not sure why this guy, well, he's probably, never mind. See, he's on the 40-man. He's starting up, but we'll probably, ooh, he's making big league money. So I don't know where we'll start with him. Another cornerstone piece I'd like to build this team around is Dylan Dingler. He's a bit older, but good stud catcher defensively, strong arm, solid contact both sides, a little bit more power on lefts. But he's 27. He's got 2 years till he hits arbitration. This is someone that we're going to be looking to extend early. And backup Jake Rogers, as far as prospects goes, I mean, you got this Brusinho kid. He's a top 100, number 71, and then number 3 in our system. Might be looking to remove that first base off of there because in this game, catchers don't progress on training for catcher specific if they have other secondary positions, and like we don't want it to go to regular fielding or anything like that. So actually, let me just do that now. I'll just put him. He's just catcher, so we can see him progress better. Okay, first base, Spencer Torkelson. Pretty young still, a lot of pop both sides, better against lefties and righties. It's in arbitration. Definitely going to be considered a long-term plan. Maybe not as long-term, depending on his price, I think, and his performance, obviously. But also, first baseman prospects could really come up. I find a lot of good first baseman prospects in this game, scouting wise. Gleyber Torres on last year was $22 million deal. Definitely someone will be looking to let walk or trade at the deadline, depending on how things go. I'll say that a lot. In terms of prospects, Max Anderson, Isaac Checo. The thing is, Isaac, he's not in the top 100. Anderson is not even either. So 2 guys be potential solid, but second baseman's definitely looking more like a need than not. Cole Keith, 24-year-old lefty bat. He's already on a long-term very team-friendly deal. Someone that is going to be with us for a good bit and going to be part of this rebuild if that's the route we go, which is more than likely the route we go. Zach McKinstry, also at third base, lefty, been with the Tigers. His entire career. It's about to go into free agency. Not really someone that we'd be looking to extend long term. I'd say we're basically gonna be waiting until his performance hits a high and then sell off on him. I'd say Javier Baez, 2 more years on his contract. A bit older. Definitely looking to sell on this one too. Because we got none other than top prospect number 2 right behind Oh, who's the top one? Like, oh yeah, the Pirate shortstop, Connor Griffin. This is a guy that did start the season with the in real life with the Tigers on the opening day roster. Depending on the kind of spring he has, we will be doing that maybe because right now he's playing up and he's playing third base alongside Cole Keith. I think in the stead of McKinstry, but for our purposes, I think it most likely be best to keep him in AAA and then call him up at some point, depending on how the season goes. Because if it looks like we're gonna compete again, I think it would be realistic. For the past, since the past 2 years, the Tigers have made the playoffs. For the third, we'll do the same. But you know, we'll see what happens. Decent shortstop prospect, just barely in the top 100, number 4 in our system. Bryce Rainier at shortstop. Other than that, no one else really to write home about. Is Jordan Yost kids see potential? Riley Green, big lefty, young, a lot of pop. 2 more years of arbitration. Definitely someone that we would look to extend. Matt Vierling, not so much. He's 1 more year till 1 more year of arbitration, then he hits free agency. So probably look to sell him next year, maybe even in the off season, depending on what we do or do not find in this year's draft. Parker Meadows, kind of been underwhelming as far as the prospect that he was and touted in this organization. We'll see what he can do, but ultimately we're going to be waiting for Max Clark to come up because he's number 2 in our system and is a top 10 MLB prospect. Other than that, um, nothing else here. Kerry Carpenter, another lefty, a lot of pop against righties. Yeah, 26 homer season last year. 700 OPS, not as good as his 2024 season as far as overall goes, especially OPS, but definitely someone will be looked to be a part of the long-term future, just not that long-term since he is a bit older, 28. Um, got a Wenzel Perez kind of in the wings. I think he's pretty interesting overall. He's a switch hitting, very balanced bat. And then other than that, in the outfield, Jahmai Jones, no one else. So it's pretty much the roster. Budget wise, we are very tight, as I mentioned, with the the son of the Illich family. It's been more aggressive in recent years, but depending on what happens in sim and overall, it might be some kind of a surprise or demand that we'll have from the ownership. So we'll wait to hear from him at some point in the season. We will definitely hear from him. So yeah, we're gonna get started off with spring training. But first, I'm gonna go through and do a couple things, and then we'll be starting our first gameplay against the Yankees.